Welcome to First Impressions, where we give our initial thoughts on comics, movies, video games, and whatever else we feel like it. And tonight, we're going to give you our first impressions of Guardians of the Galaxy, which we just saw opening night.
Right. I'm Jaysen Headley. This is K.C'arl. And yeah, we literally got back from the movie. And believe it or not, I don't think we talked about what we thought of it the entire way home.
Because we were going to do this, that's why.
Right.
And this is Captain Randall Lemur's second film. He actually saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes with us. That was his first movie. So we thought, he should check this out, because Rocket Raccoon.
Right.
So I think he liked it.
I think so. And also some drunk girls on the way home really enjoyed seeing him. So that was great. That was really great.
I think they do a really good job with establishing a tone, and I think Marvel's really good at that, and they find the right directors who really figure out the tones for these movies, But I gotta say, there was a lot of it in the middle that I just kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of humor, right?
Yeah.
But not everything lands for me. A lot of it I just was like,
All right.
yeah, kind of whatever. But when you add up the ones that do land well on me, it's very charming and it's a really fun and great movie.
Yeah.
But otherwise, while I was watching it in between, I was just kind of, some of it was dragging a little for me.
Okay.
Well,
I will say for me, Marvel movies, those are like the big movies, right? Everybody goes to see the Marvel movies. And oftentimes, when I get done with a Marvel movie, I'll be like, oh, it's good. It's rare that I'm blown away by a Marvel movie because, I don't know, even the big ones, everybody talks about the first Iron Man. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's good. But I didn't finish it, and I was like, oh my god, Marvel, make more movies, please, or I won't be able to live with my life. But because of that, and because this movie struck such a great tone in me, I can easily say this is my favorite Marvel movie to date. Mm-hmm. So far, I loved, a lot of the humor really did work for me. There's something really special about going to see a movie like this in theaters on opening night because the audience is so invested. They laugh at all the right jokes, they clap when characters get a chance to do something awesome, and I really fell into that very well. I loved it. I thought, and I'll agree, there is some pacing in the middle that does get a little slow, and I was like, oh, what's going? But overall, I like that the villains were cool, but they didn't really put the focus on the villains. Like Thor puts a focus on Loki. They didn't put this huge focus on the villains, and that's kind of okay. They put the focus on these characters and allowing us to fall in love with them, which is great because all the other Marvel movies are about one character. We're falling for that one character. Like, we have to, when you get done with Iron Man, you damn well better like Tony Stark. But this, you gotta fall in love with 5 characters, and you gotta do it quickly so you can move that story along. And all of the characters were introduced so well. I mean, from the first second, when Peter comes out and starts dancing, it was awesome. I really liked it. I loved the soundtrack. Yeah, I'm
totally into the 80s, so that's right up my alley. And I felt like they must have thought of The Last Starfighter when they did this too, because I always thought Green Lantern should have been more like The Last Starfighter. But anyways, this was kind of like that, so they picked up on that, and that's great. I totally think that they totally ripped off the Iron Giant with Van Diesel doing the same voice, doing that same kind of moment of them, coming down and, where he goes, Superman, or whatever, Iron Giant. And so I was like, that's great. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
I love Rocket Raccoon and Groot.
How could you not love Rocket Raccoon? Like, what a fun character.
I feel like they totally tried to recreate the Hulk and Loki moment too. With
they
Groot,
did a little bit.
And it didn't work for me because they also drew it out too long. Like, you already stuck them through and hit them a couple times and it was already there, but then
it just kept going. Yeah.
No, it wasn't as. They didn't pull off the crowd pleaser that I think they tried to with the Hulk Loki.
I will also make
Avengers.
The argument though that the crowd, other than you, the crowd was like, wow! Like, the crowd was going crazy for that moment.
Well, some people just fall for things.
Oh,
that.
Wow!
I mean, I see it coming a mile away.
Oh, so hateful.
No, not really. No, I mean, I love the Avengers when the Hulk did it.
Yeah.
That was crowd pleasing. All right, that was huge. But this. They should have edited it a little bit. They should have made it smaller.
I think I even like this more than the Avengers, believe it or not.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
I don't know. The Avengers is great. Other than this movie, I would probably say the Avengers is my favorite Marvel movie so far.
Yeah.
But this for me, I mean, we talk about this a lot when we talk about comics. I've said this before, but I really like a group that is kind of like that ragtag band. Like, I'll read Justice League of America any day over Justice League because I like that kind of thrown together group that doesn't really fit the way that the main group fits together. And so this was really right up my alley because of that. And yeah.
And you know, while I was watching it, I thought to myself, would I still like this movie if it weren't for all the little Easter egg Marvel things that, you know, connect to the rest of the universe that I recognize? And I thought, no, maybe not as much. So for me, a lot of the reason why I actually like it and that it's, you know, like held on for me is a lot of that, the connection to the rest of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because alone, by itself, there was just a lot of stuff in the middle that just, I don't know. I love the end, you know, and I love like the bigger arcs overall, but I don't know why. There's just certain things that I felt like if it wasn't a Marvel movie, it just wouldn't have worked for me as much.
Okay. You know, it's funny you say that because a lot of the like big Marvel movie pieces were actually my favorite parts of the movie. Like, the crowd was going crazy for when they introduced Thanos, and I was like, oh, who cares? Like, Thanos, believe it or not, I mean, the people who go and see Marvel movies exclusively think Thanos is like this really amazing villain. The people who like read the comics are kind of like, like he's okay, but he's just not.
Well, they just like to see.
Right. He's just not that special. Get over it.
It's connected to the Avengers, and they're like, ooh.
Oh my God, I know that character. Look at how special I am. No, it's just not that exciting. So for me, those parts were not as great for me. I like the parts that were really just solely about this group of 5 characters and seeing the way they interacted and seeing them kind of pick on each other. And they had a lot of really good running gags, you know, and I liked that. I thought the actors did a great job. I mean, to be fair, oh God, I've completely forgotten his name, the main actor. Chris Pratt totally steals the show, I feel like. I mean, he's just so... Well, him and Rocket Raccoon are both very much like show stealers. They're both very good, so...
Like, I really loved the inclusion of the Nova Corps, like, but they didn't, it's not how you experience them in the comic. It's now become some kind of like intergalactic, you know what I mean? Like, people aren't flying around in costumes. They're in machines. You know, they seem normal. They don't have powers, you know, versus, you know, what you normally see in the comic book. So I'm curious what's going to come out of that. But I liked that.
Yeah. I guess one other complaint that I would throw out, and this has nothing against the movie, but a lot of the really great moments were in the trailer. So we kind of knew they were coming, you know? Like, there were a lot of really good moments that we already had seen a bajillion times because the trailer was everywhere for so long. But even so, a lot of those moments still landed really well for me, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Great start to a new franchise, I thought.
Like, I don't know that I care to see it a second time. That's the thing. I don't know that I really care.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of lines I missed because the crowd was going so crazy for things. I'd love to watch it again just to get what we missed. But yeah.
I did love Rocket Raccoon the most.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
As Peter Quill, I loved the whole mother story thing that they added to that. I actually added to it, and I like that.
Yeah, we haven't really done a lot of movies. I'm gonna say let's just rate it out of 5 stars. Just your best, not even considering what a star means in this case, because we haven't really established that. What would you give it out of 5 stars? Just what would you say?
I don't know. I want to give it 3.5.
3.5?
Maybe 4.
I think I might give it a 5. I really liked it. I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, I walked out of the theater knowing that it was my favorite Marvel movie to date, you know? And I really liked Captain America too, but I didn't walk out of it thinking, well, oh my gosh, this just makes me just love Marvel movies, you know? But this was like, I could go for a second one next summer, you know? I really liked it.
I totally think they took a chance and they did the right thing with the tone, and I think that has a lot to do with why it's so good. So I'll give it a 4 for that balls out silliness.
It was very
comedy
like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek to me.
Music.
Is what it felt like. And
really?
I like that. And I would love. Here's the other thing: is J.J. Abrams. I would love if Star Wars was like this movie. Maybe a little less on the jokey side, but if you could make Star Wars this kind of a movie,
people would be very upset about that.
Well, you know what? Star Wars fans don't like anything. They don't even like Star Wars. They just want to complain about Star Wars. They only go see Star Wars movies so they can talk about how much they hate Star Wars movies. So you know what? Screw them. Make a good movie like this, and I will love it. So yeah, that's what I say to that. So you say 3.5, you say
4.
4 stars, and I say 5 stars. And Captain Lemur gave it 5 stars because he just loved Rocket Raccoon so much.
Alright.
I think that. Okay, alright, whatever. Alright, guys, well, we will see you next week for comics. We're also going to be doing a lot of TV shows when TV shows come back this fall. We're also going to be doing a lot of video games when video games come back. Holy crap, has it been a slow summer in video games. But yeah, we'll see you next week for more comics. Bye.
Yup.